For this assignment, I decided to do a video presentation on why I thought it would be a great idea for us to open up a sports complex in downtown to increase retail. This based off the research I was able to do, and in the past, I decided to this assignment. I just wasn't sure exactly what sports complex fully meant, so I decided to kind of imply from sports complex that we were talking about something like an NFL stadium or something along those lines. And recently, I had done some research on the new sports stadium that opened up in Las Vegas for the Raiders, as they just moved their team over there. So they opened up a new sports complex in Las Vegas, and so I've done quite a bit of research on that and what the effects were going to be and have started to be now that they've started playing in there due to them opening up the new sports complex there. So some of the biggest things that can increase retail by opening up a sports complex, some of the most obvious ones are there's just more foot traffic in general. So there's more people going into whatever businesses are in downtown when there's just more people in town due to whatever the sports complex is. In this case, I'm talking about an NFL stadium. So NFL stadium, there's just going to be way more people in town going to restaurants, going to clothing stores, going to anything that's in town. So overall, there's just more foot traffic. More people are going into like I said, more people are going into clothing retail stores, specifically for any clothing retail stores that carries the that team or that whatever teams play at that sports complex, whatever teams play there, and stores that carry those clothing options are going to see a lot more retail, a lot more people coming in buying those clothing items from them, and also any other kind of gear, whether they're football helmets or whatever the sports team is, but in this case NFL, any other apparel or gear that you would be able to get from a company store that's carrying that team specific brand, then you will see an increase in retail for sure. And so I think that would be very helpful. That opens up room for businesses to open completely, not even just increase already existing retail for businesses that are already in place, but opens up room for businesses to open up to begin with that can carry that the Raiders, in this case the Raiders gear and brand and clothing and all of that. So that opens up opportunities there, increasing business, increasing the economy in the town. Restaurants is a huge one as well. We kind of all know the stereotype that goes with football. I mean, you are watching the football game, you're enjoying a beer at the same time, plate of nachos, that sort of thing. And so in the restaurants, you'll see a dramatic increase in retail as people will be going into restaurants or bars and grills, that sort of thing, ordering beer and food and that sort of thing to enjoy the game, either as like a pre-game, post-game, or people who don't even go to the game but are watching it from the bars or restaurants as well. So there'll be a dramatic increase in restaurant sales we would see in the town. So that's a huge benefit as well. I would say you'd also, this is maybe a stretch, but you would see increase in parking. Obviously, because people are needing to park in town in order to get to the game, and that can increase city funds because of they're able to, obviously, if they're charging for parking, then they can make money off of that from people having to park in town. I guess the few negative things I could come up with for this was that obviously there's going to be a lot more traffic. There's going to be more foot traffic, more vehicle traffic in town, which can be a bad thing. Obviously, nobody likes traffic in general. We already always think there's too much traffic, and then when you put a sports complex like an NFL stadium in town, then you're going to see even more so. So that's a negative thing. Obviously, another negative thing we could see from opening a sports complex is there could be noise complaints. People who are living in apartments or houses that are nearby would be probably issuing complaints due to just the noise factor. There's going to be announcers and cheering and all of this, all these other noises that are going to be causing complaints for people who don't want to have to listen to that when every single Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday night, I guess, for NFL, they don't want to have to listen to that. So that's going to be a problem. That would be a problem that we could foresee in seeing how we could rectify that? Is there like something that we can do to make sure we can control the noise better into just the stadium, or is there something we can financially compensate them or something along those lines for the inconvenience? We could also see a jump in theft and like breaking into people's cars, or vandalizing vehicles, that sort of thing. Again, that could be a stretch, but I would imagine with the increase in all this traffic and people parking cars and illegal spots in maybe sketchy parts of town, you're gonna see increase in maybe some theft and vandalizing as well. So that's the things I could come up with for on sports complexes and why the city. Overall, my suggestion would be to build it because it'll increase retail and sales and business all over the town. And so these cons are something that can be figured out. I think financially, either compensating the people who will have the noise complaints and that sort of thing, or just making sure we're doing a good job of containing the noise is something we can do easily. And then obviously, I mean, as any town grows bigger, there's going to be an increase in theft and that sort of thing. So that's just part of kind of expanding in general. So that's not something we can necessarily avoid super easily long term anyways. So my suggestion would be to build it. To the city council, I would suggest building it, and we could see a lot of increased business from this. So thank you.